Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from the Skill Builder channel, and I've come up to Ware to see Ken Quinton from Quinton Roofing, and he's got a bit of kit which I think you'll find very interesting. So, Ken, what have we got here?
Basically, it's a piece of kit that we developed to replace oxyacetylene. The fuel that it uses is water. When you say water to people, they go, yeah, all right. that don't work. How can you weld with water? It's an electrolyzer. It splits this stuff. Deionised water, it has to have the iron taken out of it.
Yeah.
Goes in the tank. You have to put some salts with it. We use that. It's probably the best one. It's potassium hydroxide. This makes caustic potash, or you can use sodium hydroxide, which is caustic soda. But both of them are drain cleaners. They're caustic. If you get them on your skin, you're gonna.
I know.
Because you're taking the minerals out of the water. When it goes in the tank, there's platelets in there, and the electric goes through the platelets, and you have a positive and negative, cathode and an anode. It pulls the ions out of the molecules, the atoms. It separates them, so you'll get oxygen and hydrogen being pulled out.
So you want both, don't you? You want the oxygen and the hydrogen to burn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
There is machines out there now where they're separating it for the oxygen and the hydrogen, but you want both of them for this process.
So you didn't invent this machine, did you? Because I've seen something similar to this some years
these
ago.
have been out for a long time. First time water was ever separated like that was 1800. Then they started around about the turn of the last century, 1900. They tried welding with it, and it gave a brilliant weld. They were setting up factories and everything, and then they realised that when you've got hydrogen in contact with steel or iron,
oxidization?
No, the carbon. Carbon, it affects the carbon, and it causes what they call hydrogen embrittlement.
I know,
so
I understand. Yeah,
you'd get a good weld. When everything had cooled, you could break it like that, and it would break either side of the weld. You'd have 3 pieces of metal. They threw it against the wall and said, no, that's no good. We're not going to do that. We've wasted a lot of money on it. So it got sort of buried, and that was just as acetylene came out. Acetylene was made for big tanks like this, and over the years it was shrunk down to little mini kits. With acetylene, you're using a sledgehammer to crack a walnut. You're using something that's made for cutting
steel,
2-inch thick steel, to try and do a delicate little weld with. And I mean, it's good. I mean, I've used it for years and years. The biggest difference between this and acetylene is the crap that's in acetylene, toxic gases and everything. And then when you light it, then you've got carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide.
Do you get blowback with this or not?
You can.
You got flashback arresters on
it? I tried for ages, about 6 months. I tried every type of flashback. I even invented a couple myself. But the gas is not suited to it because the gas comes from water. It's got a little bit of moisture in it. By the time it gets to the torch, it doesn't affect your weld. The moisture, as it's coming up the pipes, will block anything up. You can use cotton wool, you can use copper wire. They've even tried it with tiny glass beads. If it's good enough to stop the flashback, it's tight enough to pick up the water and block itself up. I've tried, and because everything is steel, stainless steel bubbler tank, and the tank in there is steel as well, when it flashes back, that's all it'll do, like that. It just goes pop, because there's no pressure in the system. It runs on very, very low pressure. Because you're producing the oxyhydrogen on demand sort of thing, and you're using it as you go, there's no pressure in the system.
Right, so this is for lead welding. We're not looking at anything else here, are we? We're just looking at what we call lead burning, lead welding, whatever.
They've been out for a long time. The electrolyzer in there, like that, from there backwards, is old technology. Been done in a modern way. I mean, I buy all the bits and pieces, the tanks, the circuit board, everything like that, all comes from China. From there onwards, everything else is what we've got the patent on.
I'll just say now that I did this at college. I've done a little bit of it, but I was never that good at it because I think it's something you need to do quite a lot.
I've sold some to some of the professionals, like Clive Bright, people that are doing the art stuff, where they're doing all the mouldings and all that, and they're doing it in these new modern. They buy a billet of aluminium and they get it CNC cut, and then they can just pour as many in there as they like, and the moulds come out, the reliefs come out dead clean. There's no grain or anything. They're spot on. And they're all using these. There's 2 of them. There's a couple of the old boys that have got it, but I've sold a lot of them to young lads that are learning, and they find it a lot easier, a lot more forgiving.
Because I used to get right to the end. You know, you've been doing something like a back gutter, you get right to the end, burn a hole in it. And then what do you do? You know,
because you're going too quick.
It was just so frustrating. I mean, you know, a little rig like this doing those bits, but once you get out on a roof, it starts getting hard. So, outdoors, all right, is it? I mean, in the cold weather?
Outdoors, indoors, cold weather. You have to be careful in the hot weather. The system uses a lot of heat in the plates and everything.
Ah, okay.
But like this, as long as it's out of the sun, the 110s that we've just brought out, they're running a little bit hotter than these. We're going to have one dedicated just to the tank itself, so it takes the heat out. If you was welding here with oxyacetylene, you wouldn't put your oxyacetylene in the sun either, would you?
No. And also you've got to lug it up there, so that, you know, this is. Yeah. I mean, okay, those mini
well,
packs.
You lug this about.
Yeah, the mini packs are. Oh, blimey, that's all right, isn't it? Yeah. It looks heavier than it is. I was, you know, you tend to start thinking of transformer type weights, don't you?
Yeah,
really,
no, that's fully loaded up. So.
Yeah, no, that's fine, absolutely fine. Okay, let's have a go then. Let's you have a go and I'll watch.
With the wind on it, it'll either blow it out or it'll leave it alone, sort of thing. There's no messing about with it. You can see all the little bits in there.
The impurity,
all the impurities, yeah, all the oxidisation.
Yeah.
But if you give it a little wipe, they're gone.
That's lovely.
Use a bit of time to get it warm. You need to go get it down onto the bottom pit. That's it, it's on the bottom there. No, come away a bit.
Yeah.
Remember that blue tip, like a felt tip pen?
Yeah.
That's it. Come away a bit. You're choking the flame a bit.
Yeah. With the oxyacetylene, we used to just get in and out all the time just to stop it burning through, but you don't need to do it with this.